We say Buz Stop Boys, the response is the environment is our only home. Buz Stop Boys is all about reviving the spirit of volunteerism, that spirit of patriotic. I'm not too old, but as far back as the 90s, we could see our mothers and the whole community can go out and help one person to make sure that the farm is well taken care of. So it looks like going forward, we are kind of losing so much with what is indigenous Ghanaian. So Buz Stop Boys basically is trying to draw our attention back to the fact that we are lacking something behind. There's a good thing we are leaving behind. And I believe that, or we believe that, we have to travel with anything that is positive in our culture. So basically, we are trying to revive the spirit of patriotism with Buz Stop Boys. At the end of the day, none of the government officials that we go about blaming, they don't litter. It is us, the indigenous Ghanaians, who go about dropping pure water sachets and other things. And even in the incidents of flood, we are the ones always begging at the mercy of the Lord. So I believe that if we change our attitude and we don't litter anymore, there won't be any necessity for anybody to call anybody that, oh, Nadmo has to go there or go somewhere else. So I believe that once we are understood this thing, we have started with Buz Stop Boys, and then the whole Ghana begins to understand that it's my responsibility not to drop the pure water rubber elsewhere. It can go a long way to even reduce the level of health problems you have in this country. Malaria, cholera, and all those things can be a thing of the past.
Plastics in general and a scar. For the recycling. Even the idea when plastics are recycled near there. See, never see us here. Maybe any year, I don't say, baby, I don't have a breed.
As part of our plans, we want to go into tree planting. The last time I did a survey in Circle, the volume of oxygen that is capable of surviving life in Circle is about 7%. That is how bad everything is going haywire. So I believe that when we revive the culture and then we engage in planting trees too, then at the end of the day, we can get good oxygen to survive. And then, town beautification is also another problem. So it's also part of our deal to also go about to see these kind of posters that are blocking visibility. For instance, if there's a car on the left side, the driver is supposed to see through to the right side, but you realize that all these adverts things are blocking the road. So it's as part of our campaign, we are trying to make town visible. So we go about removing those posters and other stuff. There's a lot, but we believe that with time, you guys will see more of Buz Stop Boys. My grandfather always, anytime I visit him and I'm about leaving, after everything, the only thing he tells me is, remember, so mine be here if he then he is one person who always keep telling you that you have not seen God, you have not seen God. But the only service I can render to God is when I render an honest or a clean service to man. But man is the representative of God on earth. So whatever I do as trying to represent man, I am doing it indirectly for God. So anytime he kept saying all these things, anytime I visit, so through that inspiration, I was like, okay, if service to mankind is service to God, then what can I do that will serve humanity to, make my grandfather understand the fact that what he's been telling me over the years, I have understood. He's Apostle Dr. Engineer Kojo Safo. That's anytime I go around, that's what he used to tell me. So one day, I was in the house and I was like, this thing is long overdue. So I quickly let's start something. So then I was with my girlfriend. I told her that no, we have to start something. Nobody knows how long we are living on this planet. But I believe that once we start contributing something positively, it will work out. So I had two reflectors because personally I work as a construction foreman when it comes to construction. And I gave her one, went out, we bought rakes and one shovel, and then we started. So along the journey, the way I wanted it was not booming like the way I wanted. So there's one brother of mine called Safo. I quickly fall on him, and then there and there we could do something within 5 minutes. But at the end of the day, we needed a lot of people not to push the agenda. So I had a lot of friends that together we call ourselves Team Brothers. So I fell on them quickly, explained the whole idea to them, and they were like, we have already been doing it free for other people. So if you have to do it for the whole Ghana, they are into it. And then we started. So the first place we touched down was Kaswa, just after the flyover heading to La Paz Road or Toll Booth. That was the very first bus stop we did. And then we have been proceeding all the way to Reja, to Shashi, and then today we are at Ofanko Barrier. The main challenge is how to dispose the trash. We do pay ourselves with our money. That was when we started. But going forward, people came in and they were paying for the trash that we'll be collecting at the end of the day. So I could say people are supporting, and that's positive. So our biggest challenge there, that is the trash, because sometimes you pay as high as 300 cities, 200 cities, 200, depending on the volume of trash. You pay as much as even 500 cities sometimes. That is our biggest challenge. And even what we are doing right now, I see that, I don't know what happens to the engineer, but the water is not flowing because it has been truncated at a certain point. So no matter what we do here, if they don't get to work and they make sure the gutter is well connected, at the end of the day, in some few months, in few days, you come back and everything is back to the mess. So that's another challenge, because sometimes it's heartbreaking. Even though you solve a problem, turn yourself, come back, and the whole place is as if nothing has been done, and go like, oh, so what's up? But then we also believe that just as every morning we wake up and brush our teeth, so must we also engage in cleaning the environment, because no matter what, human beings are rational, and some people don't understand what it means to be human. I've got a lot of good memories, honestly. When we started, we did, because the way Ghanaians sometimes react to quote-unquote positive initiatives. We felt like, let's do it. Even if it doesn't make sense, we are contributing to the land and we know God is watching. So the biggest motivation was when somebody from the US, it's called Eric, he called and said, oh, I've seen you guys using your strength to weed, so I'll give you guys a handheld mower. And he gave us one that we have been using. We have used it in Kwashima, in Awoshi. We are still using it along that stretch. We've not finished. And there's one wonderful woman, this Wellington boot I'm wearing. One woman called Nanaya. She bought 12 pieces. Before then, the job we did at Achimota, she gave us a whole wheelbarrow, gave us 4 rakes, these red hand gloves they are using. And then
Buz Stop Boys, the environment is our only home.
Right.
Let them want say, I said the youth, stand up with your wonyansa. Stand up and try more be my country. One who say I did with a boy. And I do not do a while. Yeah, it take so long as I come back. You can say that I'm not a self. Let them want say.
A girl called Tina Fame. She's an artist, and then she has been coming through almost every location. She was at Sinamiche. She gave us 10 cartons of bottled water. She came to Accra Mall, did same, and then today she's here at Ofankor. So far, she has been somebody who sponsors us almost every location. And like today too, she gave us 10 cartons of sachet water. So we want to say a big thank you, using your medium to also tell the world the good things she has been doing for us, because water is life. Whilst we are working, you might be hungry, all right, but then water is what will sustain the lost sweat that is going away. So we want to say thank you to Tina Fame.
They are doing a good work. It's not easy to devote yourself to come and work for Ghana. Ghana, if you are doing something, they don't like to support you. So I just wanted to encourage them anytime they are going, because when they are working, water comes out of their system. So I decided to bring them 10 packs of water every time they are going to any location. If I can't go, I'll send them money to buy the water.
People are like, it's amazing. Sometimes somebody will just park his car and say, oh, amazing, take a 50 CD or 100 CDs. So I believe that Ghanaians are, you see, there's something in us. No matter how you pretend, it's in you. That Ghanaian thing, when you see something good, automatically pushes you to say, oh, big ups. But in as much as we are losing it some way, somehow, it's still in us. So once the Ghanaian sees that somebody is pushing a positive cause, realize that it's still, prick them within and go like, no, let me go and say big ups to these people. So even on Twitter, social media, for instance, the response has been very positive, and I believe that people will take a clue from it, and then together we can make it. It's possible. The biggest thing we need right now will be, like we say in Ghana, bolaka, because with that one we can touch base with. My boys are not lazy. I've known them for quite a long time. As far as there's food in their stomach, we can touch base with about 10 bus stops. Even today, if we have bolaka that will be continuously taking the trash. This one like this, the bolaka we work with, he said he can only come around at 12 noon You can imagine. So if we finish even before 12, we have to wait all the way till the Bolaka comes around. That's so far our biggest challenge. So far, everything we are doing, those who have supported us so far is individuals. We have not had anything from NGO. Okay, the last time we had a call from the Greater Accra regional minister, and he said they will get back to us properly. So I believe that going forward, that was just last week. So we believe they are working to maybe give us working tools, especially because that is the most necessary thing that will aid us to do more. So apart from that, we are also trying to work things out and make it an NGO, so that we can extend our tentacles to Kumasi. As at this month like this, we are planning to go to Kumasi because we have had a lot of people wanting to join us, but they are in Kumasi. So when we get there, we organize those who as a team and also do it in Kumasi to take credit to other places, so that we make it a culture. So that at the end of the day, you pick your social media, go on to Ghana platform, and it's not always about nudes, it's not always about fights. I believe that we are unconsciously we are building the next generation. They will come back and see all these graphics because, like they say, the internet never forgets. So if I go about, trying to show body because I'm a gentleman, I will not be a gentleman forever. Nature will catch up with me. The big thing I will tell anybody is, you might say I have UK or US or any other country visa, or you have the money, the means to go in and out. But remember, the only place you are called, you are not tagged with a foreigner. You are not tagged the foreigner. It's in Ghana. This is your only home. Even if you can stay 100 years in the UK, I can tell the story of the late Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan spent almost all his life in the States, but when he finally lost the life, he has to be brought back to the land, because this is where nature planted you, and it's upon you and I to understand that this is our first and ultimate or biggest responsibility, the environment. If you cannot keep this place neat, no matter how many years you spend in the US, after some time when you become familiar with their culture, you end up throwing things around. So you should remember that at the end of time, this is the only place that we can be tagged as a Ghanaian without a foreign tag. So when you drink after pure water, when you want to drop it anywhere, remember you are a Ghanaian, and your responsibility is to make sure that you make Ghana proud. If somebody, so that other people can also take their visas and say, oh, I'm going to spend the holidays in Ghana because they have seen something positive. So let's save the environment together. It is our responsibility. In the future, we are looking forward to a Buz Stop Boys that will become more or less like household name, where everybody will begin to do things themselves. You don't have to wait for authorities. You can organize yourself in your communities, 5-3 people. With that spirit of patriotism, you get to wherever needs attention, and then you do it. So we are looking at the Buz Stop Boys, where in future can become something that every normal Ghanaian can, associate himself with. That is why we are also saying that we don't have to be political about this, because a lot of good initiatives started. Once politics set in, the whole thing along the line can't be found anywhere. So let's do this for Ghana. It's not for me or for Buz Stop Boys, because at the end of the day, we don't live here. I stay at Malam Junction. A lot of these guys are coming from Kaswa, some are coming from Tema. None of us lives here. So at the end of the day, if let's say Buz Stop Boys is no more, or if you don't support us to push the agenda and along the line we stop, the malaria and the typhoid and other things you'll be getting, you will suffer. It is not the government. So let's start thinking outside government box and start thinking as responsible Ghanaians.